Okay, so the battle for the future of work, it's happening right now. And the soldiers in this war, they're AI agents. We are way past the initial hype. This is a full-on, high-stakes showdown over who's going to build, control, and ultimately profit from this massive new wave of automation. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. The major players, their completely different strategies, and yeah, who we think is actually set to win this thing in 2025.
All right, first things first. Let's get on the same page about what we're talking about. Because an AI agent, it's a whole different ballgame compared to the chatbots you're used to. You know, a chatbot is kind of like a helpful assistant. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Simple. But an AI agent? Whoa. That's like having a dedicated employee, a project manager that you can hand an entire project to. You don't just give it a command, you give it a goal. And then it goes off, it plans, it reasons, it figures out all the steps, and it actually executes the whole workflow to get it done.
So why all the fuss? Well, the prize they're all fighting for is huge. We're talking a 5.4 times billion-dollar market, and that's just for 2024. This isn't just about cool tech or bragging rights anymore. No, this is about getting control of a brand new economic engine that is just, and I mean just, starting to rev up. But here's the part that really gets crazy: the speed. Check this out, a 45% compound annual growth rate. Do you know what that means? It means this market isn't just growing, it's set to explode. It's on a trajectory to become one of the hottest, most competitive sectors in the entire tech world. It's a gold rush.
And look, this isn't just some analyst prediction on a spreadsheet. This growth is real, it's happening now, driven by massive adoption. Get this, over 1 million custom agents have been built on just one of these platforms. To put that in perspective, that's like giving every single person in a city like Austin their own personal AI assistant, custom built to solve their specific problems at work. It's incredible.
So, you can see why this has set the stage for an absolute clash of the titans. We've got the three huge cloud players, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, and they are all locked in this epic battle to become the go-to operating system for this whole new agent economy.
Okay, let's start with Microsoft. Their playbook is all about one word: ubiquity. They're basically embedding their agent building tools, Copilot Studio, right into Microsoft 365. You know, Word, Excel, Teams, the stuff millions of us use every single day. By doing this, they're making it super easy for their massive customer base to just start building. And that creates this powerful snowball effect, right? The more people build, the more useful the whole platform gets for everyone. It's a really smart play.
Now, Google, they're coming at this from a completely different angle. Forget the walled garden approach of Microsoft. Google's vision is more like an internet of agents. They want to build an open ecosystem where agents, no matter who built them or what platform they're on, can all talk to each other and work together. Their goal is to be the Switzerland of agents, the central hub, the grand central station where everything connects.
And then you've got Amazon Web Services, or AWS. They're laser-focused on what you could call the last-mile problem. See, it's cool to build the demo agent, but it's a whole other thing to actually deploy it in a huge company, where security, stability, and scale are everything. That's AWS's bread and butter. Their Agent Core platform is all about providing that rock-solid enterprise-grade foundation that big corporations absolutely need before they'll let an agent touch their critical systems.
So when you lay it all out like this, you can really see the philosophical differences, right? It's not just a tech battle, it's an ideological one. You've got Microsoft building this closed, perfectly integrated kingdom. Then there's Google, pushing for an open, democratic republic of agents. And AWS is playing the role of the infrastructure provider, building the secure roads and bridges for everyone else's economy. Just three totally different bets on what the future will look like.
Okay, but this whole war isn't just about the big three cloud giants. Not at all. We've also got the established software leaders, the SaaS vanguard, and they're jumping into the fight. But for them, it's less about conquering new lands and more about using agents as a powerful defense to protect their own kingdoms.
And before we go further, we have to talk about the powerhouse behind the scenes for so many of these companies, OpenAI. I mean, sure, everyone knows about ChatGPT and the custom GPTs. They get all the headlines. But OpenAI's real power, its true dominance, comes from its API. It's become the intel inside of this entire agent economy. It's the engine powering countless other companies' agents. And that's what's driving the bulk of its massive projected revenue for 2025. We're talking billions.
So for companies like Salesforce and UiPath, agents are all about building a defensive moat. What I mean is, by weaving these agent capabilities deep into their main products, like CRM or automation platforms, they're making their software stickier. It's not just another feature, it's something that makes their platform absolutely essential to their customers. And you can see it in the numbers. That massive recurring revenue shows that businesses are more than willing to pay up for that kind of deep workflow automation.
But it's not all about the giants. There's another really interesting front in this war. We're seeing the rise of a whole new breed of specialized players, and they're proving that even in this world of titans, a David can absolutely still go up against a Goliath and win.
And this really begs the question, right? In a market where you have these trillion-dollar companies building these huge do-everything platforms, can a small, focused company even compete? Can they survive? Or even better, can they actually thrive? Well, the answer is a huge resounding yes. And here's Exhibit A, Hippocratic AI. They decided not to do everything. Instead, they focused laser-like on one thing, healthcare. It's a super high-stakes field. By doing that, they've built this incredible reputation for safety and trust, something the big general-purpose platforms struggle with. And the result? A valuation of over $1.6 billion. That's a unicorn.
And if you're still not convinced, look at this. Moveworks. They specialized in one thing, automating IT and HR support inside of companies. And their expertise was so deep, so valuable, that a giant like ServiceNow came along and bought them for nearly $3 billion. That's a massive signal, right? It tells you that having that specialized knowledge, that unique data, that is a powerful moat that even the biggest companies are willing to pay a huge premium to get.
All right, so we've looked at the different battlefronts. We've got the cloud hyperscalers, we've got the big software incumbents, and we've got the nimble specialists. So let's get to the good part. Who's actually winning? Let's check out the 2025 leaderboard.
Okay, but one crucial thing to get straight. This isn't a zero-sum game. There's not going to be one single winner who takes everything. It's much more like the Olympics. You have different players competing in totally different events, and they're all winning their own gold medals.
And this scorecard really puts it all into perspective. What you see right away is that you can't just look at one number. Yeah, OpenAI is an absolute juggernaut when it comes to revenue. But then you look over at Microsoft, and their sheer scale, that massive user base, gives them a distribution advantage that is just, you cannot ignore that. It's a huge piece of the puzzle.
So, where we stand right now in 2025, we can definitely name a few winners in their own categories. Microsoft is the undisputed champ of user scale. OpenAI totally dominates the API game. Google's winning the open ecosystem race. AWS owns the enterprise runtime, and the specialists are capturing incredible value in their niches. But, and this is a big but, the war is nowhere near over. In fact, the next chapter is about to bring a whole new set of challenges.
Yeah, because for all of the incredible progress and success we've just talked about, you have to remember, the AI agent revolution is really still just getting started. And believe me, the biggest and toughest challenges are still ahead.
If you look at how new technologies are adopted using something like the Gartner Hype Cycle, AI agents are sitting right at the very top, at the peak of inflated expectations. And if you followed tech for a while, you know what comes next. We've seen this movie before, right? The dot-com boom, crypto, you name it. After the peak comes the trough of disillusionment. That's the painful reality check when the initial hype dies down and everyone has to face the hard work of actually making this stuff work reliably in the real world.
So to make it through that trough and come out stronger on the other side, these companies have to level up. It's not going to be about building cool demos anymore. The winners will be the ones who master the really hard stuff. Things like orchestration, making lots of agents work together smoothly, trust and governance, proving this stuff is secure and controllable. And of course, building a fantastic experience for the developers who will actually build on these platforms. That's the real challenge.
And all of this leads us to one final huge question. A question that's really going to define the next phase of this whole revolution. As the hype inevitably cools down and the serious long-term work begins, who's going to be the ultimate winner? Is it going to be the company with the biggest platform, or will it be the one that manages to earn our deepest, most profound trust? How that question gets answered? Well, that's going to shape a whole lot more than just the tech industry. It's going to shape the future of how we all work.